Alright, this is the last chapter, the last unit 就是最后一个单元呢，就是第12单元呢。我教一般生的时候都是我一般来说都是不会教第12单元，因为就是有这本书原来就是有6个单元，但是一个学期6个单元应该没办法上完的。但是因为你们是体保生，我觉得也可以多教一些运动的东西。Sounds great. All right. But yeah, this is bicycle racing. So cool. Yeah. Let's keep on going. And then we're going to go over to listening first. OK, 先要练一下听力的部分。如果是电视一直有问题的话，有可能我们要停顿一下。OK， 那听力的部分有 adjustment。adjustment this is like 调整 ，right？A change is 变化 ，so adjustment is maybe you need to get a little bit stronger， 有可能要稍微变壮一点，有可能要去重训 ，you need to go lift weights because you need to make an adjustment to your body. Handful is handful really means is 应该是5个以内。It's just something you can 用手拿的，就是没那么多 ，right？ 但是不只有一个而已 ，right？So a small amount of something 就是很小的那个，是一种数目，但是没有很多。So a handful is I have a handful of cash right now. 我有一手里的钱 ，right？ Or maybe sometimes you can say handful is like 那个人很难处理啊，就是跟他相处不太好，还是他很烦 ，right? You say, this person's a handful. This means that they're not easy to deal with. Interpreter is 口译员 a person who translates. Translate is 翻译 what someone is saying into another language. Interpreter is spoken, and translator, if it's OR, is BE, what's the writing form. Or interpreter is the spoken form. NBA, the professional basketball organization in North America. North America is 北美。所以其实 America 你要说美国的时候就说 USA United States， 因为 America 其实是有 North America, South America, yes Central America， 所以有北美、中美and 南美，所以有北美洲、南美中美洲、南美洲。So just say United States, don't just say America. Yeah, and then recruit is to choose and try to persuade someone to work for your organization. So it's recruit is like 有点招募，就是choose 选，然后是指要说服他们，就是要去你的组织工作。So organization is just a group of people. It's like a company, whatever. And then recruit. Recruit could also be a person. So that we want him to join us. He's a recruit. So 有可能我们要找一个人，他是我们的 recruit. And then a recruiter, ER 加 ER is a person who goes and looks for someone. So recruiter 是会出有点像那种去想挖找人，就是那种人的银行人。There, you could call them a recruiter. Okay, we have Jason Jennings. He's 22 years old. He's played as a professional 是打职篮2年. He's played professional basketball for 2 years, and he's in China now. This happens to a lot of players. Ling Shuhao, Jeremy Ling, he was playing in China, and then I think he's going back. But we're gonna listen to this, and then I will we'll move on. Here we go. I'll make it a little bit bigger. Here we go. Okay.
Unit 12, Recording 1. In other sports news, a report is coming out of Beijing that basketball player Jason Jennings is not planning to stay on for a second year with the Tigers.
Stay on this little side.
The 22-year-old first made news when he was recruited by the Chinese team, becoming one of a handful of American basketball players to leave the NBA to play in China. For more on that story, we go to Kim Matthews, who's live in our newsroom. Kim?
Thanks, Mark. I talked with Jason Jennings earlier today by phone about his decision not to play another season with the Tigers. Here's what he had to say. Jason, you've played a strong season with the Tigers and helped lead your team to the national championship. A lot of people are surprised by your decision to retire from the team after only one season. Why now?
Okay, so that's everything that's going on so far. 所以他打中国1年 ，right？ 但是他在中国打篮球打1年，但是他不想继续打 ，right？ So he's gonna only play for one season. That's very common. And in the past， 之前就是好像有应该是10年前，就是有一些 NBA 还不错球员都去欧洲，好像中国、土耳其都去，因为有高薪。后来就是没有很多最厉害的美国人去欧洲。去中国什么？他们就是有个比较老就是没办法在 NBA 继续打，他们就才会去中国什么的 ，right? So there was about 10 something years ago, some of the best and some are like pretty good, not the best, but some pretty good NBA players were going to Europe and China and things like that because there's lots of money all of a sudden. But then that lasted for a couple of years, then it stopped. And now 其实现在有一个开玩笑就是，如果你在 NBA 是表现不好，你说我明年我要去中国打。So there's a joke right now. It's like if I'm not doing very well this year in the NBA, next year I'll be in China. Okay, so let's hear it.
Unit 12, Recording 2. In other sports news, a report is coming out of Beijing that basketball player Jason Jennings is not planning to stay on for a second year with the Tigers. The 22-year-old first made news when he was recruited by the Chinese team, becoming one of a handful of American basketball players to leave the NBA to play in China. For more on that story, we go to Kim Matthews, who's live in our newsroom. Kim?
Thanks, Mark. I talked with Jason Jennings earlier today by phone about his decision not to play another season with the Tigers. Here's what he had to say. Jason, you've played a strong season with the Tigers and helped lead your team to the national championship. A lot of people are surprised by your decision to retire from the team after only one season.
Retire,
Why now?
I've completed my contract for the year.
Right,
I feel like I've achieved what I wanted to here, and now it's time to move on.
The last time we talked, you mentioned that you were having some difficulty getting used to life in China. How does that work out for you?
Everyone told me the move would be fairly easy, but it's definitely been a bigger adjustment than I thought it was going to be.
In what way?
Well, I don't speak Chinese, so I have to rely on interpreters for most things. It's been hard getting used to that. And, not speaking the language has made it difficult sometimes to socialize with people outside the game. The constant media attention has also made it difficult to go out in public a lot of time, too. Reporters are always following me. I have no privacy.
I read somewhere recently that you said you missed your mom's cooking.
Yeah, it's weird. The food here in China is great, but there are times when I'll start missing certain foods from back home. It probably happens to everyone who lives abroad. I remember back in the States, I was on a team with a player from Turkey.
The States is Maple.
My experience here in China has taught me a lot about what he and other players go through when they move to the U.S. to play in the NBA.
Any chance the Tigers will be able to convince you to stay on for one more season?
Stay on,
I don't think so. Don't get me wrong. The fans here in China have been great. And so have my coaches and my teammates. Really, it's been a great experience. But I'm ready for my next move.
Which is?
Well, I've got a couple options. I may be joining Team USA to play in the Summer Olympics. I'm also in talks now with a team in Barcelona to play there for a year.
Barcelona is 西班牙.
So you consider playing in another country again?
Possibly.
Okay, 所以他会考虑要不要去其他的国家打，他愿意 ，right？ 愿意想一下。Okay, so what challenges? 哪一个挑战？就是 struggled with his 挣扎 It just means 没那么顺利 right? What challenges? Making friends, right? He said 就是在篮球之外交朋友，然后社交 socializing 社交 It's very very difficult because 因为他不会中文 He doesn't understand Chinese, so that's difficult. He also said media 媒体 attention is 注目 so a lack of privacy says I have no privacy 我没有什么私人空间私人生活 so 缺乏私人的生活 right he doesn't have that privacy people like the cameras are always following him and then 他也很想念就是熟悉的食物 you know his mom's cooking 现在他都是没办法吃美国的料理 right difficult teammates and coaches is just like difficult is like 个性不是很好的跟他们相处不好 right but it's not that that's fine they've been nice yeah 那些人都很友善 and then getting used to the weather 习惯天气 it was nothing about getting used to the weather and then being the youngest on the team 他应该不是最年轻 he's probably not the youngest because he's already 22 all right that's good here there's one other word down here overseas okay that just means 在国外 overseas is actually 要跨海 yeah you have to go over the seas but I think just 在国外就 you can say that you can say overseas is 有可能你在德国然后你去法国 maybe you go from Germany to France and you go oh I'm overseas right now that still works yeah but if you all want to really say 在国外在任何的其他的国家 you say I am abroad 不在自己的国家内 right I am abroad all right very cool let's move on okay connections physical education people say PE it just means 体育 right school subject 就是学校的科目 in which students exercise 运动 or play sports 就是打运动就是yeah 打运动 yeah exercise is more like to get like 体力 to get fit where sports is usually a ball or something like that 有竞争的部分 right there's competitiveness to it and then yeah usually some people say gym class 体育课 role model 是榜样 someone you admire 欣赏 and try to imitate 试着要模仿他or imitate is kind of like you know if you like 林书豪 so oh I want to play in the NBA 因为林书豪他在 NBA 曾经打过 right 所以我也想去 NBA that's kind of imitating yeah not always well you do something I do the same thing 不一定是模仿and violence is 暴力 an act that hurts 伤害 injures 让一个人受伤 or kills people 杀人yep so violence is anything like that okay and then this isn't that important okay is I you know you can make it really short maybe we'll look at grammar a little bit later for this kind of thing and then there's some really cool things you know it's like do professional athletes 就是职业球员他们赚的太多钱吗那个就是职业运动有太多的暴力吗 do athletes 运动员可以当很好的榜样吗 are athletes like good role models like if you watch sports 冰上滚球you know hockey things like that it's very sometimes actually quite violent you know should 应该每一个学校都是有体育课吗 should every school have gym class PE class alright and then 你应该提早离开学校而毕业前都是提早离开为了打职业的运动吗 should you leave school early in order to do professional sports these are all cool things if you want to do this for like your oral test 如果你要口试做的话可以的You can do that for your oral test if you want. Okay, next one, reading. Here we go. This is pretty cool. This is about kung fu, like 武术. But it's too long. Okay, but yeah, this is actually the birthplace of kung fu is like kung fu 其实是来自一个中国的小城 like kung fu came from a small city in China and self-defense is like 武术 but that's not that important let's look at this adversity is a very difficult situation adversity is like 一种困境就是很难怎么说过关 right so adversity is let's say you know you get injured 你受伤之后 adversity 因为你要身体要好了然后就是加上体力然后有可能要回到场上就是有可能需要半年1年什么的 right so adversity is something that's tough 很难a person with character so character is like it could be like 个性 or 人格 so a person with characters 很有人格很有道德就是他人很好is able to deal effectively 可以很有效的就是处理很难的状况 right so a person with character is able So a person with character is someone who's strong. If you get revenge, revenge is 报仇. You try to hurt, 因为你要伤害 someone who has hurt you. 就是所以原来伤害你的人，你也要去伤害他. Yeah. There's another word called avenge. Avenge is the 动词. Okay. Now revenge is the 名词. So this word, well, 正在写的字 avenge is the verb, where revenge is the noun. If a person shows off, it's kind of like 炫耀. He does things to get attention from others. 因为他想要别人的注目, right? Get attention. Hide is 藏起来. That's good here. There's a cool phrase, pride defeats man. 因为骄傲都是一个人会被打败, right? So, yeah, 太骄傲, don't be too proud, right? But pride, 英文的 pride 也不一定是负面的, right? 英文 pride 有正面也有负面, right? You need to take pride in something. 好好做一个东西，因为这个代表你, right? Because this represents you, so do it well. But also you could say don't have too much pride. 不要太骄傲. So it depends. Do you want to use it positively or negatively? Okay, hold on. Okay, and then so this right here is the writing section. This has some pretty good words. So commitment to hard work is 有决心，就是你一定会好好的努力. You have a commitment to something. It's kind of like a 承诺, it's like a promise. Courage is 勇气, to be brave, right? So, commitment to hard work. I'm always going to do my best, and then every day I wake up early. I make sure to practice a lot. Courage is to be, you may be afraid, but you do whatever you need to do in the very end, right? So, if someone's running at you, you're going to hit them. Not going to run away. Determination is like commitment. Determination is 有决心, just you never give up. You keep on going. 你不会放弃. Modesty is 谦虚, to not have too much pride, to be polite, say nice, to be. Someone says you're really really good, you say I'm okay. I can get better, right? And then patience is 有耐心, so you take your time, you do things slowly but well. Quick thinking 就是很快就可以想到要怎么解决, right? Quick thinking, kind of like 活泼, or very like what's the best way to say it? 灵活嘛, yeah. So all of a sudden the defender comes at you and you pass the ball, right? You don't keep on dribbling, right? So 很快你可以就是有应变, you can change really quickly in order to help your team. Responsibility is 责任, right? So as a teacher, my responsibility is teaching well. Self-confidence is 有自信. 自制力 is self-discipline. So self-confidence is to believe in yourself. Self-discipline is to, you eat well, you practice hard, you do what you're supposed to do. Strategy is 战术. So, how are you going to try to play fast? Or are you going to try to play slow? 打得快, 打得慢. Strength is your 优点, right? So maybe my strength as a goalkeeper is 要控球. One of my strengths is balls in the air as a goalkeeper. All right, that's good there. Let's go back. Okay, and then speaking, there's really nothing on speaking. Yeah, 其实没那么重要. Okay? If you want to ask me about this stuff, it's all pretty cool, but we only have so much time. So let's look at video and then we will be done. Okay, I think it's Alain Robert. He's French and he climbs buildings. 他就是会爬一些很高的建筑物，然后就是不用绳子什么的. This guy's crazy. He goes and he doesn't climb with ropes. And ascent is a climb. 就是爬上去. Ascent is to go up. Descent is to go down. And ledge is a narrow stand outside a window where you can put things. It's like 在那个窗户外面有一个小空间, right? It's that's what a ledge is, right? So he climbs up, grabbing ledges, grabbing anything he can to get up. And if you look at his fingers are like this because he can't straighten it. 现在他不能就是绳子他手指头，他一定会这样弯起来，因为一直拿东西，一直抓。All right, let's look at this guy, and then we'll be done. He's almost 60, I think. No, 好像现在接近60岁，然后还在爬. He hasn't died yet, which is crazy.
Are you afraid of heights? Would you ever risk your life for a sport? Alain Robert would.
Alain Robert, see?
Known as the French Spider-Man,
this
fearless,
he was on 101.
adventure-seeking athlete has climbed over 100 skyscrapers, including the 7 tallest towers in the world. As he sometimes climbs without permits, police are often waiting for him at the top. Alon climbs without ropes, meaning every climb he completes is extremely dangerous.
This is in Malaysia.
One wrong move or stroke of bad luck could be fatal. But neither fear of heights, personal injury, or the law can stop Alon. For him, the only option is to keep climbing all the way to the top. Alon's passion for his sport has brought him a lot of attention, and even some world records. People are amazed to see him take on such impressive ascents with nothing more than climbing shoes and a bag of chalk. Crowds gather to cheer him on, and Alon gives them quite a show. A typical climb for Alon takes place in a busy, high-profile urban area, such as today's climb in the La Défense neighborhood of Paris. A trace of chalk on a window marks his ascent. Alon climbs by holding on to small spaces or by pulling himself up onto window ledges. Over the years, he's spent so many hours holding on tightly to the sides of buildings that he's injured his fingers and can no longer straighten them normally. With such a dangerous profession, it's no wonder he has had some bad luck. He has had numerous arrests for climbing without a permit, and he's also been in 2 major climbing accidents. Doctors tell Alon that his injuries make climbing more dangerous and have advised him to stop.
Advising Jenny.
He loves it too much. Today in La Défense, a crowd gathers steadily as news spreads that Alon is climbing the Suez Tower. That tiny speck on the side of the building is actually a man determined to reach the top. For Alon, each building is a personal challenge. His goal is not only to reach the top, but to face his fear of going higher and to overcome it. A lesson that he believes we can apply to our everyday lives. We set ourselves limits, he says, but we are all strong enough to aim higher to achieve our goals. All we have to do is find strength within ourselves. Alon first found that strength climbing rocks, not buildings, in the mountains around his home. Of course, rock climbing is a popular sport around the world, but most people still use safety precautions, like ropes. Not Alon. Whether he is on a mountain or on a building, even if he thinks he might fall, he carries on. Because, as he says, when you are facing a problem where your life is in danger, there is only one option. And the view from the top is worth it.
Okay, so back in 2012, I think he's not dead yet, yeah, which is amazing. All right, so has climbed 20 buildings around the world. I think it's actually more than that. 好像是超过100. Yeah, so this is false. Okay. And then normally uses no special equipment during a climb. Yes, 就是一般来说都是不会用一些特别的装备 during a climb. Yeah, he just uses his hands and some chip and some chalk. No ropes. 没有绳子. This is in Singapore. This is in Singapore. Has never been arrested. 从来没有被逮捕过了. Nope, he gets arrested all the time. 因为他不会申請許可證，所以常常會被逮捕, right? He doesn't ever apply for permits, so he gets arrested all the time. This is false. Broke a world record, right? 就是創造很多紀錄, yes. World records for climbing speed. Has never rock climbed. 從來沒有攀岩過嘛? Nope, he started out, 一開始就是 he rock climbed. He used to rock climb. That was his start. So this is false. And believes that climbing each building is a type of special test. 就是爬，就是每一个建築物都是不同的特別的考試, right? 一個考驗, right? Every building is it's a new challenge, and that is true. And then, would you risk your life for a sport? So risk is function. Risk your life for a sport. You know, 打運動你就會就是願意做一些比較function的動作嘛. Yeah, a lot of sports that we do is you know, like if you're playing basketball, your heart might stop. 有可能打籃球，突然心就是不會再跳，還是有可能被撞死, right? You'd be killed in cheerleading. 啦啦隊有可能會死. Yeah, so would you risk your life is put yourself in danger. 你把自己放在一個危險的情況. Danger is like 危險. Quit your job is 辞职 ，pay money is 付钱。As he climbs, one wrong move 就是有一个错误的动作 ，could be fatal. Fatal means 致命 ，so it means deadly. Okay, uncertain is 不确定 ，difficult is 很难。Most people use safety precautions. Yeah. Now safety precautions is like 因为有可能你要做一个东西很危险，所以就是要提早准备。装备还是一些知识什么的 right? So safety precautions could be everything from equipment to knowledge. So what it means is special equipment, 就是特别的装备 to 避免意外 right? So basically special equipment to prevent accidents like ropes and maybe even like a 跳伞 like a parachute or something like that. Yeah. Insurance policies are like 保险的什么保险案嘛 right? You have like policies if you get hurt, 如果你死的话，就是所有人会给你的家人什么的 right? So if you get hurt, you know money for your family, things like that. Official permit is a 正式的许可证 right? So a lot of times if you want to go up there, you actually need to go to the government and say, hey, 你要申请一些文件什么的 yeah. You need to go have some permits in order to climb these buildings. And I don't think he goes. Because if you do, the government will probably say no. 因为你去问这些政府的人，他们说不行，所以你就直接去就好了。And then his goal is to overcome his fear， 就是要突破他的恐惧。Yeah, so overcome just means to beat， 打败。Yeah. So 如果你 overcome， 你就是赢 ，right？ 有可能之前你从来没办法打，有可能之前就是骑士不能打败勇士。但是 they overcome, right? So the Cavs couldn't beat the Warriors, but then they overcame them in the second series. Ignore is 忽略 and understand is 理解. All right, that's about good for now. Nice job. Thank you. Bye-bye.